Hey folks, what's going on? Lucian the trainer here, and today we're going to be talking about foam rolling. One of my favorite things, honestly, and this is really a self-massage, and we're going to talk about how to use this, what it's relevant for. This is really going to be good for, obviously, tight muscles. It's like a massage, right? So, tight muscles. But how we use it and integrate it into our training is really going to matter. So it is a part of an ecosystem that's going on, and we want to use it correctly and accurately in order to make sure that we're getting the most out of it and keeping our body healthy and safe and injury free. Okay, so let's get into it. Okay, so with foam rolling, we're gonna be on the ground, right, for the most part. There are a number of other iterations that you can do here. I actually have recently been using a barbell at the gym a lot more than a foam roller. You can use a barbell. I don't have one at my house, but you can use a barbell here and roll it on your muscles, or you can set it up on a rack and roll it, roll on top of it. That's harder, a lot harder, but it also allows you to get into certain positions and into certain areas, right? Like the groin, I find, is really hard to get with just a foam roller itself, so barbell is going to be usually a better option for that. So, but what we're going to work on here is the quads and the hip flexors here. And this is relevant for anybody who's sitting, so basically everybody. Having these tight muscles is a big contributor towards injury. So let me just tell you a quick story. Recently, I've been doing a lot of training recently, very active. I've been personal training a lot, and I'm demonstrating squats all day, so I'm up and down all day. I bike sometimes between clients. I'll bike around on my bicycle in the city to different places and go train different people. I'm using my legs a lot. I'm also working on powerlifting myself. I'm trying to get my personal lifting weights higher. I've been putting on a bit more weight recently, so I've been expanding. My muscles have been growing, and I'm stressing them a lot with heavier weights. And on top of that, I'm also doing jiu-jitsu. So I've been training a lot, being very active recently, and my body has basically my body recently got to a breaking point where it said, listen, bro, if you're going to be doing all this, you got to take care of me also. So that's why this work is so important. I felt that just recently, this past week actually, I have been focusing on this so much because I felt that my knee was going to give out or something was going to pop. Like, it felt very much in the danger zone in terms of what my body could tolerate. And it felt like one of these tendons, something in here was going to pop. And I was pretty concerned about it, but the moment I realized basically that I'm just have so much tension building up into my legs, particularly in my lower quads, a bunch of various positions here in my legs, in my IT band, in my lower part of the quads here were very tight. And I was just focusing recently on doing that. I did it a number of days. I didn't do any leg workouts this week. I just focused on doing this, getting good sleep, drinking water, and foam rolling and stretching. And today, I don't feel back to 100%. I'm not going to be squatting heavy or anything this week, but they feel significantly better. I'm not concerned that I'm going to tear something as I walk out the door, which was the case prior. So whether you're training a lot, this might not necessarily be the case for you that you're overtraining. It could be some of you guys are training really hard. Some of you guys are just getting into things and you might not be training so hard yet. But it's very relevant for people getting into things as well, because typically what we see with people who are just getting into things is that there's a big imbalance in terms of where their muscles are holding. There's usually very overdeveloped muscles and very underdeveloped muscles because we compensate, we develop these compensations, especially if certain things atrophy and we're not using them, and other things we're using too much. So that happens a lot. Let me give you a quick example of that. I have a guy who I work with who just basically lifts everything like this, and he's he's not terribly out of shape. He wasn't the worst out of shape person. Like, he moves a lot. His job is pretty physical, but he wasn't necessarily working out so much. And he was developing a lot of SI joint pain. Sorry, not SI joint, AC joint pain here. This where the collarbone comes and meets over here with your scapula, right here in this joint. It was really fiery and really on fire. And so what we worked on, and his patterning was all to bunch up through here and use this front side, and it was just stressing overly. I mean, think he's been doing this for years, and he's just been stressing into this joint real hard. And so he developed like a real fiery feeling where, you know, he would move through this part of his body and it would be really, really painful. And so we did a little test. Anything in this direction was very painful. Anything activated through this front side of the chest, anterior side of the body, chest, shoulder, bicep, pulling, anything here, right? Shot this thing up real hard. It felt very uncomfortable. Anything moving in this posterior direction, anything moving backwards using the back, totally fine. It didn't hurt in any way, shape, or form. What that told me is that this AC joint pain here was just due to a imbalance in the way that he moved his body. Okay, so what we did is on the front side, we stretched him out and we relaxed him. We're trying to take this and bring it back to a center line here. And so we're taking this front side of his body and we're doing some massage. We did some foam rolling. We used a lacrosse ball, and we're using a lacrosse ball to roll through his chest into his shoulder, right under the collarbone. And on the back side, we're looking to strengthen it up. So we're looking to take one side, tone it down. Other side, we're looking to pick it up, right? So we're doing a rows. We were doing reverse flies here. We're doing all of these things to strengthen the backside, right? And develop nice strength through the backside while toning down this front side a little bit so that there's a more healthy integration. So now, once that happens, what we're going to look to do is also look to synergize them, bring these two things together so that they're in harmony with each other and that they are performing and functioning well together. So when somebody has an imbalance, what we're looking to really do is it's two things. One is it's three things. It's tone this one down, bring this one up, and then harmonize and synergize. And that synergy happens when they go into move. So now I was telling him, now as you go to move, I want you to think more of like, you're not just only thinking about you're doing this when you're lifting something up, and he has a physical job where he's lifting things. And so I want you to think about you're going to pick something up and you're using also the rest of your back, you're using your hips, you're using your glutes, and I want you to think more pulling and rowing here. And then when you're activating through this front side, it's going to be done in a capacity that's integrated with the rest of your system, so it's not going to be overly stressed into this area, causing a lot of pain and irritation, right? So that's by and large, that's an example of what that might look like for you. That obviously can happen in any region of the body. It could be in the ankles, it could be in the hips, it could be in the knees, it could be in the neck, it could be shoulders, elbows, wrist, etc., right? And all of these different joints have interactions in terms of the muscles and the levers that we're using to push and pull, and then the dominance of various muscle groups over the other ones. And so that's where injury happens, is when something is quite heavily imbalanced and being overused, a little overstressed, right? And even if you're in balance with your body, for me, for example, I'm relatively in balance. I wouldn't say I'm perfectly in balance because I don't think that necessarily exists. But I'm going and I'm squatting a lot, I'm working a lot, so my body is taking a lot of stress, a lot of load over time, and we need to de-stress it. Even if it's not necessarily out of balance, my whole system's going up here, we need to take it and bring it back down to here. Otherwise, it gets to this breaking point where something's gonna pop, right? It can't deal with that much stress and pressure. It needs to recover. We need to open up those muscles, let them relax, recover, come back to themselves, and then they're gonna they're going to recover in a healthier capacity and be able to deal with more load in the future when you de-stress them, okay, and they go through a recovery period. So what we're going to be doing here is we're going to take this foam roller. If you don't have a foam roller, you can use all sorts of different things. I try to be as creative as I can. These are tools and they are not restrictive. You don't have to use this. You can use a PVC pipe. You can use a some sort of hard cylinder. You can use a corner. You can use like a hard, sometimes I use like edges of desks or tables. You can use like, if you're at a gym, you can use bars, the barbell. You can use any surface where you can apply pressure to. That's the point here, right? So we're just gonna focus right now on the quad, okay? The quad, and we'll focus in on the two joint positions here of the knee and the hip, okay? So that lower quad here, that was a really relevant one for me recently. And I really felt that, so if you have a certain tendon, okay, if you have a certain place in your body where you feel that the connected to the joint is feeling very sensitive and really uncomfortable, usually what we're going to want to do is we're going to go into that muscle, and we're going to look to find. I had another client this week who said, you know, he has a tight bicep, and I know he has a tight bicep, and he told me, I think that it's I think I actually have a ligament problem, and I think I have an elbow problem. And I said, it's reverse. You have a tight bicep, which is creating a ligament and a joint problem, right? So you know, when we have these biceps, or the muscles are like, I like to think of them as like ratchets. If you know a ratchet, if you tighten up a ratchet, that cable just goes right? And their attachment point here in the joint is like that hook. And if it's not on a strong enough structure, bang, when you put too much pressure, it's going to pop off, right? In the worst case scenario, you're going to completely detach it from its anchor point. So, you know, the positions here are similar in that sense, where when they attach to our bones and our joints here, those are attachment points. And if we have a overly tight muscle, imagine like it's being stretched. So now I have just an immense amount of pressure that's being delivered into my joint here, and that's why we get these aches and pains in the joint. But that's really a canary in the coal mine for something else happening in the system. So we're looking for that tightness up the chain a little bit more. And in the case of the knee, if you have a pain in the outside knee or the inside knee, we're going to go to the outside, and we're going to find that muscle group on the outside, and we're going to go up the muscle group with this foam roller here, okay? And we're just going to go travel up and down, looking for the hot spots. And this is a painful but a good experience. I like to say it hurts so good. We look around and we're going to look for the hot spots. So I'm going to go up and down. I already know where mine are mostly here. I have a lot here down at the bottom. I cleared out actually a lot. It's not as sensitive right now, but down in the lower part of the quad, I had quite a lot. And now I also have here in my center line, right going up almost straight up the quad, I have this one line that's quite sensitive, right all the way into my hip flexor. Okay, so right into the hip flexor here, and I'm just going to go explore that and go up and down. I'm going to go back and forth over top of it. Okay, if you can't see me here, let me tuck my shirt in so you can get some visual. I'm going to go back and forth. When I find that position, I'm just going to, I can go swivel over top of it back and forth, and I can go up and down, and I'm just going to try to let myself settle in here. I'm going to really try to let myself open up, settle in, and release. And what we're looking to do is help that muscle release that tension, and really develop itself and recover. Allow the muscle to heal and recover, because it wants to heal and recover if you give it the right stimulus to heal and recover. But if it's if it's locked up, that tension is like a lockbox, and you got to stick a key in and open it up. Once it opens up, it's going to start almost by itself, it'll recover, but we got to help it do that thing. So we're going to go over top of it, do some foam rolling back and forth, find those hot spots, and really go back and forth. And as I'm doing this, it's like, whoa, there are some spots where it feels like you're scraping your bone, and it just is extremely unsettling. Now, we don't want any sharp pain, fiery, sharp pain. We don't want to go through nerve pain. We don't want to force anything. And as you do this more, you'll feel the difference between that's a uncomfortable massage, right? It's an uncomfortable pressure into my muscle that feels okay, it's just challenging, versus that's sharp nerve pain or something really sharp, electric, painful in that capacity. We don't want to force any of that. We don't want to move through that. We want to go around that stuff and try to relieve the tension elsewhere. Okay, so we're looking for that. And if you have a lot of tension, this could truly be extremely uncomfortable, but it's one of those hurt so good experiences. Okay, so I'm just going up and down over top of my quad here. There's quite a lot still for me in my quad. I'm feeling, particularly in the center line, going up into my hip, going up into my hip flexor. There's a lot in here, and I just want to explore this. Go up and down. At the gym the other day, I was making all sorts of faces. It looked like I was I don't know what it looked like I was doing. Probably looked like I was having some sort of exorcism. Something, which kind of was, free this thing from my body. And yeah, it is it can be very intense, foam rolling. But it's what it's really helps open the body up. And so we're looking to do this in areas, generally speaking, good areas to do it are going to be the quad, okay? Quad generally holds a lot of tension. IT band, which is just essentially the outside of your quad here, okay? So running down the outside of my quad, that's usually quite a sensitive area here. Definitely a lot of sensitivity in there. And that sensitivity is okay. We just want to go back and forth over top of it, breathe through it, drink a lot of water before and after. You can flip this thing around and go onto the calves. The calves end up being quite sensitive. My left calf, I had a line running up my left calf that was extremely sensitive. And we just want to find that position here, right here on my outside of my left calf. Ooh. Yeah, right in here. And we can put pressure. I almost don't even need to put more pressure than this on this area because it's so sensitive for me right now. Just looking to try to consistently move through it. But if I want to put more pressure, I'm going to lift my hips up and stack my legs here. And that turns into quite a strong, oh, yes, up and down here. And I also like to be active, so I like to try to flex my muscles, relax my muscles, push my muscles away, release them, engage them, release them, and go through a process where I'm going to be kind of actively doing this so that my muscles are a part of this process. I'm not just doing them to my muscles and they're asleep. I want my nervous system engaged. I want it on. I want my muscles to help me release this tension here. And if you go back and forth like this, you're going to get really good results out of it. I literally thought I might tear something this week. We got full sun action going on now. Let me scooch a little closer. I literally thought I might tear something this week because of how much tension I had in my in my legs, and I just had to do this a couple of times in order to relieve that tension. And thankfully now I'm not in a position where I feel like I'm in the danger zone. I still need to do some more work, especially before I go and lift heavier. 2 weeks ago I hit a couple PRs in the gym, and then after that my legs were like, oh my God, we have too much. So that's that. So if you guys have any positions in your body, right, that are extremely sensitive, we want to go through that. We want to find it. We want to really go through those positions. Okay. We don't want to be a slave to that, and we don't want to be afraid of it. And we need to find those positions, and we need to work through them. And usually the best way to do that is by going up the chain, right? So going higher. So if I have a pain here, I want to find what my entry points are towards that pain, okay? And what directional patterns make it painful. So if it's this way, I'm going to be looking for all of the muscles that draw up strength in this direction, like my client this week, right? This AC joint here, right where this kind of like bump happens in the shoulder here, right? This bone, this bump, okay? Then I want to find where I'm driving. If it's all sensitive in this area, then I want to make sure that I'm helping to relieve that stress and that strain in that area. And then I'm looking to, in his case, build up some more back strength in order to balance these things out. That's going to be relevant all across the system. So go ahead. This is a little bit of a, instructional in terms of how to do your own self-diagnosis in that sense. But go ahead and go through your system, go through your body. If you have any questions, leave them below. I'd be happy to answer all of your questions. If you have any questions about, I have, ankle pain, or I have heel pain, or knee pain, or whatever you have, go down there, ask me questions. I'd be happy to talk to you, and we can help you get better. Okay, so if this is valuable to you at all, please go ahead and leave a like and subscribe on the channel. It really helps other people out there who have really bad aches and pains in their system get the relief that they need as well, because I know it can be very challenging and very stressful and very overwhelming trying to figure all of the body stuff out on your own. There's a lot that goes into it, and it can be very overwhelming, especially for somebody who may have lost hope. I know a lot of people have lost hope when it comes to their body. And the body is extremely resilient as long as you understand what stimulus that you need to give it. And you can be actually working and doing and training hard and living a good life, more importantly, living a good life into your 80s, 90s. It's very possible. We want to get ahead of it early, be on top of it, and make sure that we're doing what we need to do to stay strong. And you know what? Here's another quick little thing. Making fitness a part of our routine where we're bonding with our friends and family. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be a chore that I have to do, that I have to spend 6 hours a day doing, or 6 hours a week, or whatever it is doing. It takes time away from all of this, so maybe I get more life back in the long run, but I have to do, this investment all the time. Make it a bonding activity. Go on walks, go on hikes, go on bike rides with friends and family. Go make it a part of what you do. Don't just go out to eat. Don't just go out shopping. If you're going to do things with friends and family, change the narrative and go out and go biking, go hiking, go walking, go fishing, go, do all sorts of things. You can go to the gym together. You can go pick up a sport. You can pick up jujitsu. You can, all of these different things are really good for bonding both socially and also keeping your body really nice and healthy in the long run. So if you guys have any more questions, please drop them below. I'd be happy to help. I'm here for your service. So let me know. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay fit, and live a good life. Go smile and go high five someone today, because it's a great day to be alive. Talk to you soon.